Y'all ever seen the 35 millimeter? I love me some 35 millimeter. I love me them soft highlights and the grain and the blooming and the halation. Lord knows color is one of the most important things. I personally think that color is the most important part of the frame. Filmmaking and photography is the same damn thing. Alright, what I want you to do is take your camera and go out. You start shooting. You gotta start shooting. Gotta shoot and shoot. Alright, that's when you're gonna see the colors. And when the dingo takes your baby, you won't complain because that's when you see them colors be so damn good. Alright, let me show you. Okay, so recently I shot a commercial for a Muay Thai gym in Japan. And let me tell you how I use Dehancer to color grade the whole thing. So we got these two clips. And those are going to be the clips that I'm going to use to demonstrate. Alright, we got the fitness side. And that's supposed to be, more calm, more warm. And then you got the fighting side. And that's supposed to be more cool, cool tones and fast-paced, fast music. So the whole commercial is about alternating between these two scenes. You got the calmness of the fitness and warmth of the fitness, and then you got the cool tones of the fighting and the fast-pacedness, if that's a word, for the fighting. So here's my note tree. It looks intimidating. Don't get intimidated, because if you break it down, let me just all right, if I break it down like that, those are all the nodes I'm actually using. Okay, I'm not using half the things. So let's see. We start with the CST color space transform, and end with another color space transform, which is our output. So we begin with the input. I use a Sony FX3, so mine would be a Sony what's that called? Something gamut cine something S-Log 3, and that goes into DaVinci white gamut to white gamut intermediate. Right. And then for Dehancer, I'm taking that white gamut intermediate again. As for output, take the same white gamut to white gamut intermediate, and then we'll do our final conversion, which is the Rec 709 to Gamma 2.4. And all of these nodes in the middle, we're just going to use them to actually do the color grading. So let's start with node 1. That's balance and exposure. So for exposure, I just go down to my HDR wheels and look at my global, and you can increase the exposure, decrease the exposure. I just play around with that. But for this scene, I feel like it's perfect. It's perfect already. So I'm not gonna change a single thing. Alright, I'm just gonna leave it as it is. And then next thing I do is check our white balance. Go to your vector scope and head on over to your primary wheels. Play with the offset while looking at the off balance. The vector scope. yeah, just, try to get that in the middle. But of course, it's a creative choice. You don't have to get it in the middle. If you want your video a little warmer, pull it towards reds and yellows. If you want it a little cooler, give it that, specific look that you want for your video, you could pull it towards the blues. So it's really up to you. It doesn't have to be in the middle, but in the middle is what would be true white balance. And next, we got our contrast. For the contrast, I just pulled the highlights down just a little bit. Just get those soft highlights like we want in 35mm film. And for the shadows, I pulled the shadows up just a little bit as well. Alright, because you see, we have a lot of blacks. Alright, we got the black sandbag, punching bag. We got black t-shirt, black background. So, I don't want me blacks to be way too dark. So I'm going to lift them up just a little bit, lift the shadows up. And we got them creamy blacks. And they're a little bit more visible. It's exactly what I want for this style. Alright, for saturation, you'll see why I didn't use this node at all. It's because I actually did it in Dehancer later. I'll show you. And then we got a temperature. As I said before, for the fitness side of it, which is this scene, I wanted to increase the temperature, make it a little warmer. So head on over to primaries, temperature, set it to around 160 for this clip. Just make it a little warm. Because in the second clip, I made that pretty cool, minus, 160, something like that. So, just so we have that contrast. And when it comes to my color slicer, I didn't really change much for this clip, except the greens. I just, reduced the saturation a little bit, increased the luminescence. And then we got our two LUTs. I made these two LUTs after a long time of experimenting. Changed the intensity for both of them, lowered them a lot. So I like to use them subtly, really subtle. LUT 1 and LUT 2. LUT 1 is more of a warm LUT, and the second one is more of a cool LUT. And depending on my situation, I like to just either use them one off, one on, or I like to leave them both on. In this case, I'll leave them both on. See the difference before and after? And I like how it looks because it darkens my image. It got a little bit of moodiness. You got soft highlights, nice skin tones. And now let's get a Dehancer. Actually, go through the settings with Dehancer. When it comes to Dehancer, I don't change any of the settings at the top. I'll leave them all as it is. Because you can see my waveform. I like my waveform. I got no crush shadows, no clipping highlights or whatsoever. So I like my waveform, so I'm going to leave exposure and everything as it is. Next, we got the film. I chose Kodak Vision 3 200T. I often choose the 200T or the 400T for the Kodak Vision, and I just switch back and forth. For this clip, I like the 200T. Play around with the push and pull, just choose a point that looks nice for you. And for my specific clip, I thought that this looked nice, around 0.5, looked good. When it comes to film developer, I didn't change any of the settings except that one that I told you about, which is the saturation or the color boost. I didn't change the saturation in my node tree because for the Kodak 200, I feel like it's a little bit flat when it comes to the colors. So all I did was bump up the color boost by around 38, just to bring back a little bit more life into my clip, as you can see. Then we got the actual print head. For the print head, I also choose the Kodak. And the rest of the settings just stay the same. Alright, and then we got the main characteristics of 35mm film that we're actually looking to tweak using Dehancer. At least I'm using Dehancer to tweak these. First thing would be our grain, film grain, and I go with the 35mm because I'm going for the 35mm look, so 35mm. And if you know how a camera works, you see ISO 200, you get some minimal grain. the higher the ISO, the more the grain. For me, I prefer ISO about 200 and a low value on that, like about 5, just because I don't like how the 800 looks. It's way too much grain for me. I like my grain to be fine and subtle. All these changes I'm making over here are really subtle, not major changes, but all of them combined make a huge difference. Right, so I just go with the 200, like I said, 35mm, 200, value about 5.4. And then we got the halation. For the halation, again, 35mm, super 35, but you also got the no remjet version. And if you choose the no remjet, you're gonna see the difference in the highlights. They're a little bit orange, but I am not going for that kind of look right now, especially for this clip. So I'm just gonna go with the 35mm super 35. And again, like I said, keep them subtle. My amount is always pretty low. And as for the bloom, same principle. When it comes to the rest of the characteristics like overscan and film damage, I don't really use that. The only thing I would recommend changing would be this last setting right here, from normal fast to high slow, just to get the maximum quality possible in the end. So I'm gonna just delete that and show you my original node tree, which would be the more complex one. And as you can see, it's not really that complex. We got the CST again in the beginning. We got the Dehancer node at the end, which would be our final step. And then we got the last conversion node, which transforms our Rec 709 into like digital standard. And everything in between is just tweaks for your clip. You don't need to use all of them nodes. I don't use all of them nodes, but it's just nice to have them there and have the option to do so. I like to use my warper sometimes. In this clip, of course, I didn't need it, so I didn't use it. But I use the nodes that are necessary, and I like having this complex node tree. And if I do need to mask, I usually use my gradient masks. I love my gradient masks, so I'm gonna use that just to tweak the lighting a little bit, tweak the atmosphere a little bit. And same thing goes for the second scene, except the only difference in the second scene would be that I pretty much use the same lighting, you see, but on set I use the lighting behind this door. That was an Amran aperture or something, maybe 200, 250, I don't know. And it was set to a really high white balance. We got them cold tones, just because I wanted to get that contrast between teal orange in the editing. And for the overall image, I set it pretty cool.